Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Koop'd Up podcast. The podcast that is bringing their daughter on a college visit, but merely to kill an old member of the mob, I guess. We're going to go with that this week. As always, folks, my name is Koopa, and every week I sit down with one of my friends to talk about all the happenings in pop culture and how we're keeping ourselves busy in these trying times. This week, folks, I'm joined by a very good man, for lack of a better word. He's an esports commentator from the greater northeastern part of the United States. He's a streamer, commentator, and one of my very, very good friends. Ladies and gentlemen, you know him, you love him, and you probably hate the characters he plays in Super Smash Brothers. So please give a very warm Koop'd Up welcome to my good friend, Mr. Hazmatt. Brother man, how are you?
What's going on, dude? You're so professional. I love it. I think that was a hell of an intro. I don't think I deserve that type of an intro, but I appreciate you, man. What's going on?
Man, I'm doing good, and this is definitely not foreign to us, whether it be talking into a microphone or talking in the podcast medium together. But this is the first time on my new show that I've gotten to sit down with you. So you are you're making the press rounds in these parts of the woods.
Yeah, man. I was thinking about it today, and we had done a podcast before, and I mean, we still obviously could at any point, but we had been doing a podcast that was pretty much centered around Smash, which is great. That's definitely a shared interest, a shared passion that we have. But I think it'll be really cool to be able to go off the beaten path a little bit for topics that you and I talk about. I think we'll have a little bit of fun here today and just kind of open it up. I am hurt that you went to Camel Edge first. I understand. Camel Edge is an A+, 110 out of 100 human being, so I understand it. But I gotta say, a little hurt.
Listen, man, you got to save your better hitters for late in the lineup.
Am I batting third? Am I batting cleanup?
You're batting like the seventh. You're at the bottom of the lineup.
Well, I think that's usually where pitchers hit, because sometimes you leave. You have a pesky eighth hitter in there sometimes who he's an on base demon.
Alex Rodriguez hit seventh once. So
is that in the playoffs when he batted double digits?
Probably.
Probably. Yep.
Couldn't get off the interstate.
Well, if A-Rod did it, well, I don't want to do it. So the only thing A-Rod did that I want to do is get a Minotaur painting of myself and hang it in my entryway for everyone to see. You've heard that rumor, right?
I've actually never heard that before. No.
Oh, dude. Yeah, it's a rumor from he had a lady visitor, and she told the press about it. She was like, "Yeah, I went to his house, and he had a giant picture of himself as a Minotaur, or as like a gladiator stabbing a Minotaur. I can't remember what it was. It's been a while, but yeah, it was definitely interesting."
And Jennifer Lopez still wanted to marry him. That's crazy.
I don't understand what's going on there, but I don't like to think about it a whole lot. So fair enough.
I hear that. So as something I do around these parts is that I love to engage with my guests on what the status of our working relationship is, and I don't hesitate to call you my friend. And yeah, we've known each other for a while now. I remember exactly the two moments were, number one, the moment we first met each other. It was at a Smash tournament, a Qatar, I believe.
In New Jersey. Where in New Jersey? What's the name of that town in New Jersey?
Somerset.
Yes,
New Jersey.
Somerset. Yeah. Good memory.
Yeah, so we met there, and we had a couple of blocks together, and we really hit it off. Our energies really synced. But I remember the defining moment of when we really became friends with each other, and it was at another tournament like later that next year. Yeah, and like so.
Yep. There's only one answer here.
So like most men in our age bracket, our friendship was forged in the fiery furnace of a Hooters in a Hooters in Atlantic City. Do you remember this night?
Yeah, I remember it very, very well. I think it was one of the. I think it wasn't our first choice. Nothing against Hooters or whatever, but I think it was actually the only thing that was open because we rolled in. So we probably rolled in around 3 a.m. I think to that. There was another Smash tournament at a casino in Atlantic City, which was very fun actually. I had a lot of good memories of that tournament. Obviously, you and I, really became good friends there. But I was meeting at that Somerset tournament. I remember that too. That was great, and you know this as well as I do that when you get on the mic with someone, it's either torture for 2 hours or it's a ton of fun. Like there's no in between of that was all right. Like it's either the worst or the best. So when you and I hopped on and we had instant, synergy, I was thankful for those 2 hours and then, the years to follow from there. So yeah, we had a lot of fun, man. We've had a lot of fun at a lot of other tournaments too. So
no, we have. We've definitely upped our food game since Hooters for sure.
There's nowhere else to go but up from there, baby. Actually, their wings aren't that bad. You got to give it to them.
No, they're not. Their smoked wings are really good.
I've only had the buffalo, but fair enough. I believe you.
I can't remember the last time I've like willingly gone to a Hooters when there's like literally any other wing restaurant I could go to.
Yeah. Dude, especially with COVID, because I don't even know how that, like, do they have sexy masks now? Like, I don't understand, like, what's the deal there?
Their
And how does that
uniforms didn't look very breathable to begin with, so I imagine the masks aren't very breathable either. So
I know, I was laughing. My mic came unplugged, though, but you are funny, just so you know.
That's what, that's all my self-esteem needed to get me through the rest of today. But no, it's like you said, we're obviously no strangers to podcasting together. We were part of a podcast for about you came on for like the last like year or so. Like we kind of found our groove and stuff like that. But we talked primarily in our wheelhouse in Smash and stuff like that. But again, the makings of a great friendship, and Glenn brought this up in the episode that he was in, where that we could talk about the nerdy stuff that we all like, and we're gonna talk about a bit of that too. But it's also about the fact that we have so much to talk about other than just video games. We have very similar tastes in film and TV shows and stuff like that. Like we're going to talk about. We're currently in the midst of watching WandaVision together, as we have since the show started.
I look forward to Fridays so much now, man. It's so fun.
Yeah, it's definitely a rival television, and I will talk in depth about WandaVision when it's all said and done. I have a podcast date circled on my calendar that doesn't exist, but so we are here as every week to talk about all the happenings of pop culture and quarantine and stuff like that. So obviously, I'd say I wouldn't say it's an uncommon thing, but you're also a notable esports commentator with a day job. So you've been working from home, I'm assuming this whole time.
Yeah, man, 11 months. I was thinking about it today. We were kind of talking about the last time because I travel a lot for work, probably every other week at least. And so it's kind of crazy because the last flight I took was in early March. It was right when the pandemic really started, and they had declared Boston, a state of emergency kind of area. So, literally, I was in Minneapolis on work, and we got the call mid, conference room meeting that we're in a state of emergency. And we all looked around. We're like, can we go home? Like, how does this work now? So that was the last time I flew for work, and I've been at home ever since then, man. It's been pretty good. I upgraded my office like instantly after moving all of my stuff, permanently kind of working from home all the time. I got a new desk. It's a standing desk, which I really, really like. Upgraded my monitor situation. It's just been, making the best of it, dude. But 11 months is a long time to be in essentially one room for me all the time.
No, yeah, like I remember that about your job specifically, like more than other people's, that you were constantly on the road and stuff like that. And to think that it's been 11 months of this, having to, as someone that's also had to like, upgrade my own equipment to do, commentary and stuff like that from home as well.
Mm-hmm.
I've definitely it's definitely been a bit of an adjustment period to like, get used to like the grind, working, and I went from working in a folding metal chair last March to properly upgrading to like dude, I don't know what's wrong with me.
That must have hurt. How long did you do that for?
Probably a couple months.
Dude, how? How is that even possible?
You know what, man? I'm built different and built poorly. My back hurts. But that's where we're at now. You also upgraded your pet situation. You did get a new dog this last year. He's a good boy.
Yeah,
I'm a fan.
He is a very good boy. He's a rescue. So he's got some stuff to figure out like for himself, but he's doing supremely well, I must say. Like better than we would have ever hoped. Like he definitely has like some sort of tendencies. So he's a rescue from what was I gonna say? From Houston, Texas, and he was I was gonna say homeless, but like what's the correct term? He was
sheltered?
Is that no?
He was rescued.
He was
astray.
Astray. Thank you. That's the term we're looking for. There we go. All right. Edit this podcast. Oh boy, that's not good. Yeah, he was astray on the street of Houston for about a year of his life until he got rescued. So he has these like social quirks and stuff that we're really trying to help him out with. He gets scared around other dogs and stuff, and we're just trying to help him figure it out. And it's been a lot of ups and downs. Like some days are really good, and then other days, it kind of gets frustrating and stuff. But it's been obviously very rewarding and good to see the progress with him and teach him like tricks and stuff when he used to just be he used to not be able to go in the backyard on garbage day because he was so scared. But now he completely ignores garbage trucks. Like the sound would scare him so much he'd run
Oh
back and
wow.
forth, and beg to go inside and like cower in the corner. So he's come a long way. He's just got a few more things to work on. But yeah, man, he's great. It's pretty crazy. We've had him for about 9 months now, which is wild. I can't believe it.
That's incredible, man. And definitely as someone that's like currently in like the pet adoption pool right now, like I I definitely like, listen to your stories and kind of, write those things down for myself for whenever I inevitably adopt a dog. It's just fingers crossed,
Yeah.
and we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But we are not.
How is that going for you?
It's
We haven't
going.
had an update on that in a minute.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, it's going. I have it's really like it's really incredible, like the lengths that places will go to like not like qualify you to adopt. Like
Yeah.
I feel
Yeah.
like it's one of those things where like I felt like if I applied to Survivor, they wouldn't accept me because my yard isn't fully fenced in.
Okay.
Like it's like because like most
Yeah.
places most places like won't adopt you if your yard's not fenced in. My situation's a little bit like complicated because I babysit my nephews, so there's kids in the house
Yeah.
at least like twice a week. So like I have to like bring that up in most of the applications I fill out. But we have some progress. There's a
We're working on it. Yeah.
yeah, I have an application accepted in at a local shelter in the town over for me. It's just a matter of like
Okay.
waiting for the right dog to come in. Fingers crossed. I've
Yeah, man.
knocked on
I'm
some
hoping
doors.
for you.
So thank you, man. Yeah. Hope and then our dog and then my dog and your dog will have to engage in fierce combat. To
Okay.
defend our honor.
I
After
was
we get
hoping they'd be
kidnapped.
friends, but all right. Either way.
That too.
Whatever
They're
floats
gonna
your
be
boat.
their own commentary duo.
Oh yeah. Get them little ties and microphones and stuff.
Oh my god, that'd be
All right. This is cute. All right. This
that's
is cute.
too.
This might actually have to happen.
We're
This is
we're
good.
those dog people. We're the esports
This is
dog
good.
people.
This is good.
Get our dogs little like TSM jerseys or whatever. Like
Good. This is good content. Yeah. I think people would honestly subscribe to that.
I'm here for
Is
it.
how I feel.
Let us know down below if you guys want to see mine and has his dog in full esports getup.
I guess I should have described him. He's we got his DNA test back. We did that.
Oh, okay.
So he's mostly terrier with Chihuahua mixed in him is like the primary ones, like without getting too many weeds. So that's what he looks like. He's a little brown and black dog. He's very cute.
No, he's
a
adorable.
big beard. He's a
If
big
you guys
beard.
follow Haz on Twitter, he's constantly posting pictures of his dog. So
I am, yeah, it's true, man. My Twitter feed has changed a lot since quarantine has started.
yeah, constantly changing and evolving. As one must do. But speaking of being in quarantine, obviously the crux of this podcast is that a lot of us are stuck inside, not leaving the house, not traveling. Hopefully, you're not doing any of those things.
Right.
And unless you absolutely have to.
Unless you're a Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan, then it's okay.
Oh, brother.
That's sarcasm. That's sarcasm.
Florida. What are we gonna do without you? But
Yep.
so obviously, what I love to talk about with my friends every week is that we talk about games we've been playing, shows we've been watching, what type of media we've been consuming, because I don't know about you, we're since you're constantly on the road a lot, like you might feel the same way I do. I in a normal like year, I am so busy, I don't have like a lot of time to just like sit down and like tune into something and like relax. It'll be hard for me to like keep up with like the trends. And what's made that even harder, like subsequently, is that there's all these great shows that are now like available in the streaming era, like all of these shows that I had never seen before because I was an ignorant kid in high school or college, and I just like didn't care about anything that wasn't like specifically in my like general wheelhouse. So like not only would I only like watch like I'd have a hard time keeping up with the new stuff, but I'd never be able to experience like a lot of these older things. So I don't know if you like have felt that you've found yourself watching and like consuming more media than you would normally in a given year.
Yeah, for sure. Of course, man. Like just staying back. I think like the old stuff is cool, but like the new stuff has been a lot of fun. I love watching. At the beginning, I was watching a lot of sports documentaries, a lot of 30 for 30s and stuff like that. So I had a lot of fun doing that at the beginning of quarantine. And then the Jordan documentary came out. That was incredible. But I am watching through a lot of my favorites and classics, and you kind of hinted at this earlier, which is a lot of fun. But watching through The Sopranos again, a lot of HBO classics actually. I just finished watching through Entourage again too. And I was gonna actually say, have you watched that show before?
No, so it's funny. That was actually a show I've been planning on watching for a while. I just have to be in the mood for it. It's the Entourage. I'm convinced it might still be my brother's favorite TV show of all time. Like my brother swears by it. My girlfriend's brother is currently watching it and he really likes it. My parents have watched it too, and they love it. You know, and the HBO library specifically, because now that Roku has unlocked HBO Max for the masses, I've been like going through and watching a lot of that too. So like I've been watching, you know, The Fresh Prince before I go to bed.
Dude, yes, me too. Actually, it's funny we didn't talk about that, but yes, absolutely.
Yeah, it's a great bedtime show. I've been watching that and like episodes of Ed and Eddie. I've been watching like my dad's been watching The Wire, which is like another like popular like HBO show, and he's like motoring through it because he's got nothing else to do because he's retired and home all day. But yeah, like you mentioned, The Sopranos is a show that has crossed both of our radars to the point where it's sickening, and we send each other memes of it back and forth all day.
Sure, we just send each other pictures of James Gandolfini like once or twice a week, you know, like just random pictures. The one where he's flipping people off is very funny. But
it's a great picture, but yeah. So that's something I definitely wanted to talk to you specifically about because you're so my thing with The Sopranos, this is the first thing I watched when the world shut down. I got laid off from my job in March. Or at the end of March, so it's like April 1st, April 2nd. And I remember around that time, HBO and their mobile apps announced that they're releasing like I think it's like 500 hours of content for free on their app and stuff like that. So you don't have to have an HBO account to watch any of their shows. There's obviously like a bunch of their movies were included in that as well. You can watch shows like Veep, Barry, which are like popular shows that I haven't watched yet, but I've heard really good things about. The Wire was another one of those shows. True Detective was a show you could watch without having to sign up.
Dude, have you seen season 1 of True Detective?
I have. It's amazing.
So good.
Funny,
too bad what happened after that.
Yeah, like everybody I've talked to said just like stop watching after season 1.
Pretty much, yeah.
That checks out. But the show that I wanted to watch first and foremost was The Sopranos. It was a show that was very popular in my household when I was growing up. My mom, my dad, my brother all loved it. And, you know, anyone that's grown up in New Jersey, especially in like my area of New Jersey, like the northern part of New Jersey by New York City, this show is like meant for like the people that lived up here because they filmed so much of these locales, like not just in this area, but like literally in places that I could drive to as a kid growing up.
Yeah, right.
Which is insane. And this show has like followed me around like as quarantine has gone longer because my girlfriend was watching The Sopranos again. Her friends were watching The Sopranos. Her brother started watching The Sopranos. A bunch of my friends started watching The Sopranos. So subsequently, I feel like I watched The Sopranos like 8 times in quarantine because someone that I keep in my very small circle just happens to be watching it. And so like this show is like just constantly in my brain, and it's ridiculous.
Yeah, for me, it wasn't. I mean, Sopranos is great, obviously, and I love it, and it's the best. And the thing with The Sopranos is that it held up so well over time, too, which is crazy. Like, it holds up very, very well for a show that you think might be kind of dated, you know, at some point. But it holds up great. I love watching that show. I need to do it again soon. But a lot of Italian American television has been on my radar. We rewatched all of the Jersey Shore at one point. Like we reached that point of quarantine where it's like Tiger King was out. I don't know. Maybe we were feeling weird from that, but you know, jammed out to literally every season of the Jersey Shore. Had fun with that, and then what's the other one? I watched Goodfellas. Is on Netflix. One of my favorite movies. Love that movie. I saw it was on. It was recommended to me. Amazing recommendation.
Great movie. One of my favorites
amazing.
Of all time.
Yeah, man. It's just, you know, digesting all this Italian American culture. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, I know you're a Cake Boss aficionado as well.
Cake Boss as well. Holy shit, you're right. That was so early on.
That was, yeah. That was like that was like even like pre COVID, like
Yeah. We can't blame that one on COVID. You're right.
yeah,
You're
like
right.
like you were
All right,
definitely
fair
asking
enough.
me to like, hey, can we go to the cake boss place like before we have to
Yep.
commentate something? And I'm just
Oh
like,
yeah, I wanted to go when we were in New Jersey. You know what it was? Is we switched over to the Cake Boss cooking competition show, the baking competition, where he would, when people lost, they'd put them in the box truck. He'd go get in the box truck and he'd stuff them in the box truck when they drive away, and you'd never see them again. That's how it ended. That's how that contest ended for some people, for
oh
many people.
brother. Cable television is wild, man. But
Oh yeah.
so going back to the Sopranos, this show obviously like critically acclaimed. It won Grammy after Grammy after
Yeah.
airing in, I believe, 1999 is the first year it aired all the way through 2007.
Okay.
So I'm curious what your history with the show was. Like, do you remember like
Hmm.
where you were when you first started watching this, or was it just something that just kind of like happened to come on and stuff
Well,
like
it's
that?
funny because similar to you, I think I was a little young when it was really, starting up. And I remember my parents watching it, and it was pretty rare for my parents to both really enjoy a show together. You know what I mean? Like they just kind of had different tastes in that way, but they both loved that show, and like they'd get mad at each other if they watched it without each other. Like that was the first time I remember that being a thing. But it was like a big deal, and I remember we had to like go upstairs or whatever when it was on. Um, weren't allowed to watch it. We were too young or whatever. But so I remember it always being this thing that both my parents liked it. It must be pretty damn good. Like there's not a whole lot in the realm of television that held true for. So I was pretty excited to eventually watch it someday. And I really got into it when I watched it in college. And I actually had a professor who really liked The Sopranos and incorporated it in his film courses. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot to study and learn about mental health and how it's portrayed and how it's seen by especially men in this country. So it was kind of ahead of its time in that way, man. It was very cool.
No, I totally agree. And just in case you happen to reside under a rock and you don't know what The Sopranos is, again is a drama series created by David Chase that aired
Mm.
on HBO from 1999 to 2007. The show is decorated in awards. It's won 21 Emmy Awards, 5 Golden Globes, and it features a pretty like bolstery cast when you look at it. Obviously, the
Yeah.
first thing that pops out to me, besides James Gandolfini, like retroactively, is Lorraine Bracco, because we
Okay.
were just talking about Goodfellas.
I was
Um,
thinking, oh yeah. And it's so funny because she went from the girlfriend in Goodfellas to Dr. Melfi in Sopranos. So it was like kind of the other side of the coin, you know what I mean? But still entangled in this world by accident. I was thinking about that actually as I was watching Goodfellas. So yeah, absolutely,
yeah,
man.
and James Gandolfini. The first time I'd like he caught on my radar besides The
Uh,
Sopranos was True Romance. Uh, Great movie from the early '90s. Great watch, and obviously some other people you might recognize through here. Michael Imperioli.
yep.
Um, he was what was he in? That was like I think it's The Sopranos is like his breakout thing. I think he was also in
Yeah.
Goodfellas for like a few scenes as well.
I think a lot of them. That's Christopher, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, he was in Goodfellas. He was Spider.
that's
Remember
right.
that?
Yeah, that's what it
He
was.
gets shot in the foot by Joe Pesci, which is very cool. Like
Yeah,
if his acting career ended there, it still would have been pretty cool. Like I'm the guy that got shot in my foot by Joe Pesci. But
yep. Yeah,
a lot of them,
and
you're
also
right. Like
Edie Falco was the last one I was going to mention.
yeah,
And she still looks the same now as she did
yeah.
like 20 years ago, which is crazy. Um,
I was gonna say, yeah, I think you're right. Where most people kind of got their start in Sopranos, where they might have had smaller or like lesser known roles, especially in like we said, related Italian American cinema. Like we kind of pulled from Goodfellas and some of those other popular pieces. So yeah, it was cool to see Jamie Lynn Sigler too,
yeah,
breakout role in that
yes.
show.
I actually found out recently she's in a show on Adult Swim, I think.
Really?
Yeah, she plays like the girlfriend of somebody else in like in a. I don't want to say it's Tim and Eric. I want to say it's like some other like like sketch
What?
comedy show. Yeah, it's not that. It's like
I'm pretty
she's
surprised by this.
yeah. I know she's on a show on Adult Swim. I don't recall it off the top of my head. I'd have to Google that. But
Uh,
no, this is awesome. Like you said, like the cast is flooded
stellar.
with it's stellar. It's and I think that's also what makes like the show so good because I think one of the big like themes of Sopranos is family, um,
Mm,
and stuff like
for
that.
sure.
Whether it be like your blood family or like the family of the mob that you
My family.
yeah, the family.
The family.
But But yeah, my first time watching a show, it was phenomenal. Like, it's one of those things where I would just watch, and I said this in like an earlier episode of the podcast, but like I can always judge by how good a show is by how badly it ruins my sleep schedule. And The Sopranos definitely like
So
set
true.
me off. Yeah, The Sopranos set me off the deep end like really hard. Like, the episodes it's just so enticing, and like once the plot really gets going, you're
Mhm.
seeing, Tony Soprano, this mobster going to therapy, and something that even in like the late 90s, early 2000s, like stuff like that, men going to therapy and stuff like that, and they make jokes about it, of course, and stuff.
Oh,
It's
he's like
definitely,
ashamed of it. It's like
yeah,
a big thing where he literally thinks they'll kill him if he knows because, well, first off, it's confidential. Obviously disclosing things to a therapist if you're in the mafia is bad, but at the same time, he also was worried about how it would make people view him.
yeah,
It's like a
no,
big thing in the earlier seasons for sure.
no, it's absolutely incredible, and like you're seeing the you're seeing obviously like the mind of Tony Soprano's, and I can tell you exactly when like the show, like I like really got hooked on it, and I brought it up in the open
Mm,
where it's the episode where he brings Meadow to college, and
yeah,
he's bringing Meadow on the college visit. The episode, I believe, is just strictly called College, and Tony, while he's visiting this college in upstate New York with his daughter, he runs into someone who was like, I believe he was a rat in the
yeah,
mob or something like that. Yeah.
correct.
So he has to walk this delicate line of like being there for his daughter, while also keeping his organized crime,
Yeah,
ties, A, under wraps from his daughter, and B, trying to take care of this guy. And I think it's one of the few times where like I
I like
think
how you
they've,
said take care of this guy like they would. Let's take care of this
yeah,
guy.
take care of this guy,
Like,
but
what does that mean?
yeah,
You
but
killing him or you getting him gabagool? Like, which one is it?
I'll never
Usually me
forget.
either.
This happened recently, but one of my friends is watching The Sopranos, and he said in our group chat in like the middle of the day, he's like, "Guys, Gabagool is just Coca-Cola."
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just like,
Gabagool. Gabagool.
it's great.
Gabagool.
It's my favorite
That's
lunch
amazing.
meat.
Is that Riz?
No, it's not Riz.
Damn it.
It's
Good guess though, right? Could have
it's a
been Riz.
great guess. I don't.
Could have been Riz.
I'm gonna definitely bully him into watching The Sopranos so we can talk about it now.
I'm surprised
But
he hasn't.
this
He's
is
a
your,
sharp guy.
if he
It's right up
has,
his
I
alley.
forget. But this is your call out, Riz. Watch it.
Riz. That's my
But,
dude right there.
Yeah, so like that episode was fantastic, and like it was. I read some stuff like after the fact where people were like, it was very like uncommon for like the main character of a TV show to just like kill someone like that, like on
Yeah.
TV.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because you bring up that one episode, and I think it ties back into the main theme. Like you talk about the family, and like in that episode, you can see like kind of the split for the two different types that he has to really care for, and I think that's one of the best episodes at demonstrating that. So,
Yeah, no, for
yeah, I
sure.
think that was a good call out by you, man.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where like this show that was written like over a decade ago, like concluded over a decade ago,
Yeah.
is still able to
Yep.
like maintain like its hold in like pop culture and stuff like that. Like
Yeah.
Livia Soprano was like voted by TV Guide as like the third best like villain in television.
Dude, she's amazing. I mean, you know the story behind that too, right? Like how it was supposed to go with her.
Yes, I do. I was actually
Okay.
going to mention that. You could talk about that if you want.
Yeah, so essentially, like the mom, who's kind of the villain of the first season. Well, it's weird because Tony's like an anti-hero, like an anti-villain. Like
Yeah.
he's like evil, but you kind of like him anyway, and like you kind of root for him. I gotta say, a lot of that was built up, I think, well in the pilot. Like they kind of make light of the fact that he's a mobster, and like, dude, the writing's just brilliant. And it's what you were saying, Kyle, where like it all kind of comes down to the way that, how do I put this? I don't really know. I kind of lost my train of thought there. You're gonna need to edit this one.
No,
for
so
me.
it's
But
like the relationship between like Tony and his mother is like a hot point of contention, like
Yeah.
in the beginning, in the first couple seasons, and like it's like pretty like common stuff like at the beginning where it's like, oh,
Yeah.
like my son's putting
wait
me
for
in
the
a
family
retirement
party.
home.
Yeah,
Yeah, and stuff like that. Like, but like as the show like develops and the plot develops, like you learn through Tony's uncle, Corrado Soprano,
Uncle
Junior
June.
Soprano, Uncle June, great character by the way, love Uncle
Oh
June.
yeah, he's great.
You learn through there that like Tony's mother like resents him for a lot of things
Oh,
that
yeah.
he's done. So like the show is setting up to where you know, and spoiler. By the way, I should have brought this up at the top. So we're gonna be talking spoilers about The Sopranos for a bit. So if you guys,
Well, you know what's fair too is this is season 1 stuff, so it's not like you're
yeah,
giving away.
these plot points are like what ifs if because the actress that plays Olivia Soprano dies
Yeah,
after the
which
second
is I guess
season.
kind of a spoiler, but
Yeah, so she dies, and what eventually happens is that she organizes a hit on her son, pretty
Yes.
much, and the hit goes awry. I believe. I wish I went back. And
Yeah, remember
watched
Tony?
it.
He saves himself in that. Really, it's a clincher for sure when he's getting out of his car and he sees a guy approaching in his mirror.
Yep.
Remember
Yeah.
that?
So like she
Great
organizes.
scene. Great scene.
She organizes a hit gone wrong. And what was supposed to happen is that in the plot of the next season was supposed to be that Tony is his mother goes on trial, and
Yeah.
Tony has to go against his mother in court to talk about
She
what happened.
testifies against him.
Yeah,
She's
she
like the
testifies
star
against him.
witness.
Yeah.
What a plot that would have been. It would have changed
Yeah.
the whole series, man.
It totally would have, and like the series obviously goes a different direction and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, it focuses on more of Tony's, you know, the conflict with the you know, with the family across the, you know, across the bay in New York City and stuff like that. These are introducing these other mob families, plus you know all the other characters in the ensemble. You know, they all start going through their own stuff and stuff like that. The show is just it's very tragic, and you know we won't spoil all the plot points.
Yeah.
But I think what holds up so great about the show is that number one, like the star power is there, and even in later seasons, like when you know Steve Buscemi, spoiler alert, shows up for his season of the show, and he's awesome. Like put Steve Buscemi in anything, and I'll watch it. Like I love that guy. But the show is great, and like the overarching plots are very interesting. You know, you're watching this man try to juggle like his family life and keep things separate, but also trying to juggle being, you know, the man in charge of an organized crime family, and like just watching that balance is great. And obviously, like the ending of The Sopranos is what's like most famous about this show. You know, people still talk about it to this day. So without spoiling it, obviously, I won't spoil that because if you legitimately haven't seen the show. And the fact that you've been able to avoid that spoiler, because that's at the end of every like Watch Mojo like best ending in TV history type beat, like it's definitely a case of where people talk
best. I think it's widely considered the worst. Is the problem with it?
You know, is it?
Yes,
because I've heard both arguments
people
about
being
it.
Like, I remember people being pissed when that first happened.
That's you know what? You're right. I'm not thinking retroactively, but I remember.
I think it's gained some appreciation recently, but yeah,
especially because shows since then have like had worse endings. I know Game of Thrones comes to mind and stuff like that.
I'm kind of thinking the opposite, where so many shows end. Like, I think Sopranos is considered one of like the all-time greatest shows of all time. Like, still to this day, I think The Wire falls in that category too, and then Breaking Bad is like the common three that most people bring up. I think of those three, Breaking Bad really nailed the pacing and the ending better than the other two, honestly. Because Sopranos, I love it; it's still a 10 out of 10 show to me. But there's still some.
Don't spoil Breaking Bad for me, by the way. I still haven't finished it yet.
Oh yeah. Well, I just think the ending was very well received, and the pacing of it was very well received. It didn't overstay its welcome. It didn't try to stretch into a season 9, 10 type of deal. It ends around season somewhere in the middle. I won't, you know, not an extremely high number is my point, but it was around long enough to be satisfying, to build a complete story, and to finalize it. It was again just a beautifully written piece, much in the vein of The Sopranos as well. But I think it just had that ending that The Sopranos needed.
Yeah, I think in the era of the internet, people have definitely like, and especially with like subsequent interviews from like David Chase and other members of the cast and stuff like that, you know, the age of the internet has definitely like ran with the ending of The Sopranos to like kind of make more sense of it, which I personally enjoy. Like I love a good deep dive on like the lore of a show after it's finished.
I think this is what you're saying too. Is it was kind of ahead of its time, honestly.
Yeah,
like it was just like people couldn't appreciate it, or was it what people really wanted? You know what I mean? I think that was the problem, is that the show delivered on so many levels that eventually it was bound to fail in some way. And I think it was just with the ending. I don't think it. I'm fine with the ending after like thinking about it and rewatching it and doing all that shit. But it definitely, like, imagine like you watch all those seasons and you're super hyped to see the ending, and that's kind of what you get. I think it left people kind of with the sour taste in their mouths.
Yeah, but, especially in an era back then in like 2007 where like DVR is just like just on its way in and stuff like that, and like they still haven't even mastered like that technology yet, and on demand wasn't really like, it was still kind of a newer thing in like the late 2000s and stuff like that. So like, most people just they watch that and then they don't get to watch these shows again until it shows up on these streaming services, 10, 15 years later or whatever, however many years it's been. So
yeah,
I definitely think
it's true. It was a different time for sure, and I think like if Breaking Bad had come out around that point, I think that people would have had kind of similar problems. Just with Breaking Bad in general, like being able to talk about it and break things down, and like the whole culture behind watching TV together has changed a lot. Like a lot.
Yeah,
it's very cool.
100%. Like this is definitely like one of the last few shows, or like not the last few shows, but like definitely in the height of like the water cooler era, like TV shows, and stuff like that. You talk about, you go to work the next day, and you talk about it. I think Game of Thrones is like the last show like that really brought that out to you. But like I think
that shit stumbled at the finish line, to say the least. Oh my God.
From what I've been told, I'll cross that bridge eventually, because I still haven't watched Game of Thrones.
I'll tell you, just read the books, man. Just read the books. Are incredible. He's never going to finish writing them, but the books are amazing. I can't recommend the books enough, honestly.
I'll keep that in
They're
mind.
so good. They're so good, dude. They're a long read, but they're incredible.
Okay, that's good to know. But so yeah, listen, if you're and also like the Sopranos like celebrated after the fact to James Gandolfini's like unfortunate passing back in 2013, and he was a phenomenal actor, man. Like this show like like I said, the show is decorated in like TV awards and stuff like that, and a lot of it is on the shoulders of James Gandolfini. He as Tony Soprano is phenomenal. Like
beyond, yeah.
If I'm drafting a team of best TV dads, I have to draft Tony Soprano.
Best TV dads in what way? Just like the casting and stuff. You know what else on there is Uncle Phil. 100%.
100%. Like my team.
Easily.
Yeah, like Uncle Phil, the dad from Malcolm in the Middle, who just loves to have sex with his wife. Like
who's also Breaking Bad.
That's true. Yes, he is.
Bryan Cranston.
Yes, sir. Oh God, and who is There's so many. I could be here for days, but definitely like those three are definitely like
those three. Yeah, that's a really solid foundation we just laid right there for sure.
A solid list. But listen, if you're do you have a favorite episode of Sopranos? Like what's an episode that stands out to you? That
you know,
really
the one I love is the one where Paulie and Chris get stuck in the woods in the winter. I love that episode. It's always my go-to answer. I think that episode is phenomenal, and the one where Tony has the hit out on him is also incredible, and I think the pilot is as well. There's so many good episodes. Oh, and when there's one time when Tony and Carmela fight, and it's like, like it was like hard to watch. It's like how real they got with each other. It was there's a lot to enjoy and like about that show.
All those episodes are great. There's an episode with oh my God, there's an episode with Sir Ben Kingsley that I really like, where Christopher's trying to like pitch his movie idea.
Oh, Cleaver. Yep.
Yeah, Cleaver.
Cleaver.
which is a great little like subplot of like Christopher being in the mob, wanting to like wanted to be a director, which is
so stupid.
Which is funny.
It's so incredibly dumb. But it fits the character. It's written well.
No, it does.
It's a plot line that would be easy to like be too silly and fail, but they make it work. So
yeah. I love the adventures of Vito hiding out in New Hampshire. Mostly because after the fact, without spoiling anything, this one character has to go away for a while. So he's hiding.
You said who it was.
Yeah, so his name's Vito. He's a mobster, but he has to go away for a bit. I won't describe why. He just has to. But he ends up in a like little like nowhere town in New Hampshire, and he's there for like a few episodes. It's a big plot point in like the later seasons. Like one of the big subplot points. And I love those episodes because I found out after the fact they filmed those in the town where I went to high school.
Oh wow!
They filmed that in Boonton, New Jersey.
Which is Jersey. Oh, okay.
Right over.
They made New Hampshire, New Jersey. All right.
Yeah, because like one of the scenes,
Fair
like
enough.
I didn't realize it until like the second time I watched it, but like I'm watching it and they show like the main street of this town, and my friend pauses it and he's like, "It's a main street in Boonton, which is a town over for me." I'm just like, oh my fucking God, it is. Like it's
that's
like
pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's awesome. And there's crap like that like littered all over the show, which is why I love it. Like there's I think Christopher like throws up in a Toys R Us parking lot where like grew up by. I'm like, oh, like I've been to that Toys R Us, like I've gotten drunk at that Applebee's as an adult. Like it's a fun like little Easter egg hunt for someone that like lives in this area of New Jersey that I really like. But
Right. That's pretty cool, man. I mean, yeah, in general, The Sopranos, like you said, is gonna have a ton of little Easter eggs for you and where you grew up. I'm sure.
yeah, no, I love it. Shout outs to shout outs to the strip club. Why is it escaping my name right now?
Bada bing,
Bada Bing.
da bing.
The Bing. Dude. The set pieces are great. I think that strip club is still there on that like stretch of highway.
Really? It should
Yeah,
be. It should be a national. What's it called? Like a national monument. You know what I mean?
yes.
Like it should be basically considered like the steps that Rocky runs up. You know, like it's about the same level, in my opinion.
Oh my gosh, I need that, but no, this show is littered with great characters, great episodes. There's so many people we didn't talk about, but
Oh yeah,
if you're interested in watching, it gets the Cooped Up seal of approval. You can watch it on any of the HBO affiliated streaming apps, whether it be HBO proper, HBO Go, or HBO Max.
Yep.
Max prefer. I love the Max library. It's
Me
fantastic.
too, man. I was looking at it right before we hopped on this call, actually. So
yeah, but another thing that I wanted to talk to you about is that
okay.
I know that something that you just picked up. You just picked up a Game Boy Micro, correct?
Oh yeah, I did, man. Well, I had an old one, and honestly, I was gonna sell it. Like I was in the process of moving around this time last year, and I found a bunch of old video game stuff, and that was right when Gon started doing stuff on YouTube and like collecting games and like posting about the games he was collecting and stuff. And I was like, hey man, I just found this box of shit. If you want it, I'm moving, and I'll give it to you at the next tournament we're both at, or I'll sell it to you. You know, he was like, that's what he said. He's like, definitely sell it to me. I don't want to take it for free. Like that's not cool. All right, like just price it fairly and just let me know, what you'll pay me for it. So we did that whole thing. And then COVID hit and I never got to get him the box because we never went to another tournament together. So I was in my room the other day and I saw, I had to go under, the box is just sitting under my bed doing nothing now. It has like an N64, an old Xbox, like all this shit in it. And I had to go under my bed for something. And I pulled that box out. I was just like looking through it, as you do with boxes that you haven't seen in a while. I was like, holy shit. I was like, this box is pretty cool. I was going to sell, give all this stuff to Gons. And then I realized there's a Game Boy Micro in it. I'm like, I kind of want to play, some Game Boy Advance games. And I wonder if this thing still works. So the first thing I did was order a charger for it because it was dead. I was like, who even knows if it turns on or whatever. Got the charger in and it worked great. Like it worked perfectly. Opened it up, cleaned it out, got it looking brand new. It plays like it's brand new. So I ordered Final Fantasy Tactics Advance, which I had never played before in my life, even though I'm a huge regular Final Fantasy Tactics fan. It's like one of my all-time favorite games. So I was like, I think it's time to play the sequel. And the Micro's a great system, man. Like it's small, obviously, but it's nice. Like it feels great. So what was I gonna say? The other thing, it's like I kind of want to get an SP now too. I truly consider those, they're portable Super Nintendos. Like I truly consider them some of the best systems of all time. I really do. Like they're in that conversation with PS2 and SNES. They really are, in my opinion. Just library alone and power alone, and they added a backlight, which gaming systems didn't really have at that point, except for the Game Genie, which had, or the Game Gear. There you go, the Sega Game Gear, which took 18 batteries to run and died in 4 seconds anyway. Remember that thing? You must. You're a Sonic fan.
I do. I never owned a Game Gear. I think I saw.
They're expensive.
Oh, dude, they're insanely expensive. Like, yeah. I held one at a convention one time just to like say that I did, but my God, those things were monsters. But I echo a lot of your points on the Nintendo handhelds. Obviously growing up as a Nintendo kid, my first handheld system ever was the Game Boy Advance SP, and I took that thing everywhere with me. That was one of the best Christmases of my life, dude. That game, it came out. My parents got me like a third party like carrying case. They got me they got me the light that attaches to the back so I can play with it. They got me the car chargers. And I got all my favorite games with it. I got Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga. Phenomenal game.
That's a good one too. I might have to get that one. I don't think I played through the original. I played through some of the later ones. So that's what I'm trying to do, is like get my library up and running and play through these games that I really wanted to and just never did.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm definitely trying to do as well. But the library for those games were fantastic. I beat that thing into the ground. I loved it to death. And every Nintendo handheld I've ever had, I just have so many memories of me just like dropping it off the counter. Getting my little hands on it. Like one of my favorite systems is the DS Lite, but my God, that thing was a fingerprint magnet. It was
Uh,
disgusting.
oh, that's kind of how the micro is too. Honestly, it's very easy to show like how dirty it is. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
it's like weird. I don't understand why they went with these like glossy this glossy finishes on these handhelds because like they just look like nasty. It's one of the reasons why I waited to get a 3DS until the XLs came out because I couldn't
Mm-hmm.
stand the glossy finishes of the traditional 3DS.
Mm-hmm.
Like matte finish on handhelds like all the way, dude. But yeah,
Yeah.
like I
They
wanted to
figured
talk.
that out, dude. But they look so nice when they're not scuffed up a little
Oh,
bit. You know,
100%. Yeah, they're
they look
beautiful
so
looking systems.
nice.
But yeah, like I just definitely just wanted to ask you, like, are there any other like if you're on a long road trip on summer with your parents, you can only bring 3 games
Wow,
with you.
wow.
What 3 games are you bringing with you on this road trip?
For the Game Boy?
Yeah,
Okay, for like the Game Boy Advance library. Oh man, that's a tough one. Definitely a Pokemon game. Like, there's 0% chance I don't say a Pokemon game, especially 3 games. You know, if you gave me two, maybe like Leaf Green. There you go. Like that'd probably be the first one I bring for the Advance. Let me look here. This Final Fantasy Tactics game I really like. Oh man, Minish Cap is so good too. Castlevania Aria of Sorrow is so good.
yeah. The library
I'm
is
looking
insane
at
when you think about it, man.
it's
Like,
so good, dude. I'm looking at it right now. Oh, I would bring a WarioWare game, probably regular WarioWare. And Final Fantasy VI is my all-time favorite Final Fantasy, so I'd probably bring that
oh, I forgot that was
instead of
on the
Tactics.
advanced. Wow.
Yeah, they came out with like a secret dungeon and stuff like that, you know. So it's really good.
I thought long and hard about this question over the last couple
Yeah, tell
days.
me. Yeah, I want to hear yours, dude.
So, the first Game Boy Advance game I ever played was Pokemon Emerald. Um,
Okay,
that was that's
great,
one of the games I got when I got my SP. It's one of my favorites. It's a game I go back to and play, every now and then just for nostalgia's sake. I love it. It's one of my favorite games. So that's one.
great.
Two. It was tough, but I love the Super Mario Advance games.
Dude, I that's what I was kind of scrolling through and seeing here too, like the Mega Man Zero games too, as
Yeah.
well.
No,
Oh,
like those games
dude,
were fantastic. As much as I like have like nostalgic memories of like, um, you know, Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga and some other stuff, but like the Super Mario Advance 2, I think is the one where that's whichever one was Super Mario Brothers 2.
okay,
I think that's Advance 3 or 4. I don't remember. They numbered them weird to my knowledge.
they did.
Um,
Well, that and like dude, neither of us has said any Fire Emblem games. We haven't said any. Yeah, I'd say WarioWare, Pokemon, and FF6 is definitely mine. But the other one that we're not saying is I just had it. Oh, Tactics Ogre. I have to get Tactics Ogre, which is supposed to be like the real successor to Final Fantasy Tactics. I'm just adding games to this list, man. What was the other one?
I did.
There's a
There's one more that I haven't said yet
Go ahead.
that
Yeah,
I
yeah, I want to hear
personally
yours.
love. I put so many man hours into this
Oh
franchise.
boy, is
Give
it
me.
Sonic?
It's actually not. Believe it or not. So this
You
is
didn't
going to
even
be
put
the
a
black
Sonic game
mark.
on this list.
This is going to be the black mark on my fan card. I didn't play a
Wow,
lot of the Sonic Advance games growing up. I didn't play them until I was an adult.
they were probably good.
They were great. The Sonic Advance games are held in high regard, and the ones that I played I like. Sonic Advance 1 and 2 are phenomenal. They just weren't games that I played a lot in my childhood.
What's up with them? There's no shame in being a 2D game company. Just keep making 2D Sonics. They're amazing.
I agree. They're great. Hopefully they get it
Make
right
that your
first.
main game.
Hopefully his 30th birthday doesn't suck. That's all I'm asking for this
Oh,
year.
it's going to. Oh, it's going to. It's going to be trash. I don't know what else you would expect here, man. Like, what are you expecting? What could
Not
they
much.
do like to satisfy you here? That's like
I
what I'm
can't even say
curious about.
Sonic Adventure 3 because they'll find some way to fuck it up. Like,
Oh, easily.
like give me a let me see. Give me an HD port of Sonic Colors and I'll be satisfied. That'll be fine.
HD what?
An HD port of Sonic Colors? I love that
Oh, you
game.
said port.
Yeah, port.
Hmm.
That game rocks.
Oh,
Sonic Colors is awesome.
okay. Never played it.
So the last Game Boy Advance game that I
Yep.
that the franchise that I love is the Mega Man Battle Network series.
So good. That's what
Um,
I'm saying, man. The library's nuts. Like, it's
yeah,
so good. Because I think you could put it in that category of Super Nintendo because it has most of the best Super Nintendo games. Golden Sun, that's what I was going to say. That's another one I need to
yep.
buy. I don't have I've never played it. Everyone tells me I love it. I've never played it.
Oh yeah, that's definitely something that I feel like would be in your wheelhouse. Like for the
Right?
games that you like, Like you'd love
Hmm.
Golden Sun.
Absolutely,
Um,
man.
but yeah, like the Game Boy Advance library is fantastic. I love that people are starting to get like, you're seeing people slowly go back in time a bit in quarantine now. Like,
Yeah,
people are buying into the stock market and hoarding and like scumming out McDonald's to get Pokemon cards and stuff like
I
that.
saw that today. It's so ridiculous.
Truly insane, wild stuff. So like we're definitely going back in time to the 90s. Like even myself, I bought a 3DS, new 3DS, a new 2DS, like the big, like one of the ones with the big screens that doesn't have 3D. Like I bought one of
Yeah.
those just to like go back and play like some of the these older games on the virtual console and stuff like
Hmm.
that. So like definitely you see people starting to creep back into nostalgia as we continue on into this thing, and
Hmm.
I'm here for it, man. Like I love these older games so much.
Dude, me too. Obviously, man. And I gotta say, like, Tactics is the only game I'm playing on my micro right now, but I am absolutely loving it. Everybody said like you love Tactics, you'll love Advance. Like it's different, but it's so good, and it's very close to the first one. Like the combat satisfaction is there and everything, and the story's like a little kind of like Tactics is a regular Tactics is a very very serious and like complicated story. In some ways, and this is very like it's kind of dumbed down a little bit, but that's fine too. Like I'm still enjoying it a lot. So
That's awesome, man. I love that
hell
stuff.
yeah, dude. Great question. I love it, and I'm having a great time like buying new uh skins for my micro now, and like outfitting it, and like people make custom skins now that I'm buying on Etsy. It's very cool.
Yeah, like I didn't mention much about the micro itself, but like that's a console that like I always wanted to get, but I couldn't warrant getting it because I already had a Game Boy
Yeah.
Advance.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
Dude,
you
it
know what
was
it's
so worth it though.
you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me a lot of what the Switch Lite is now compared to the Switch. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like it's hard to justify that cost, but dude, I liked it because the SP was amazing, but the micro was so sleek and so easy to bring places. Like you could sneak it in your pocket very easily, like pretty much anywhere.
Yeah, I
The
saw
SP, like cutting down on the bulk, was like the first big thing they did, going from the advanced to the SP. Like I think the SP was such a brilliant system. It was perfect for what they needed. The backlight and being able to fold it was perfect.
no 100%, and I actually saw. I think it was. I want to say it was Bobby Wasabi. Mutual follow on Twitter. He said that the Game Boy Micro was like the last
Damn.
real the last real system that you could put in your pocket. If I read that correctly on Twitter. Something that
I
I
believe it.
recall reading. Yeah, but like the system was always something that like I've seen in game stores. I've
Yeah.
wanted one. I couldn't warrant getting one because I already had a Game Boy Advance SP. My mom would tell me we have Game Boy at home. You don't need
Yeah,
one.
to be fair, like I think the SP is brilliant. I've said it a couple times, but like I think the micro is very nice, but I think if you got an SP, I think that was a tough sell. Like I think that
Oh
was
yeah,
weird that they did both of them, even though they're both incredible systems.
no yeah, 100%. And I looked online and stuff like that. So like you can the console definitely still like sells for I'm sure what it went for new like back in like the
Yeah,
mid 2000s.
and it's tough to find one in good condition. Like it's hard. It's not easy because they all get messed up like pretty easily.
Yeah, no, it's crazy, man. And yeah, definitely, do your research, do some due diligence. I've been surfing on a lot on eBay myself. Like I'm not much of a game collector
Hmm.
personally. I don't have that sort of like energy nor space to do so. Um,
Yeah,
but like definitely, whenever I like think about like old systems that like I might want to pick up, like I don't know, like I might want to pick up a Wii because I don't know, I might want to play some Wii games again. I don't, you never
yeah,
know.
it's nice. Yeah, Wii's are nice too because you can hack them and put like a game. I played a lot of Game Boy games actually on my Wii because I had like a hacked SD card or whatever that someone gave me.
Oh,
And it
that's
just had
awesome.
that's how I played Minish Cap actually, which is an incredible game, which I should probably collect actually at this point. So
Yeah, no, I love Minish Cap. I've said multiple times, both on this podcast and on other mediums, that I'm a very fringe Zelda fan.
yeah,
But every handheld I've
I've
only
heard
really
that
played
about
the hand.
you
Yeah, you've heard
from
it,
yourself.
a thing. Yeah, yes, a thing or two about me. But
I've heard a thing or two about a thing or two. It's true.
yeah. But I have played primarily like the handheld Zelda games, and I love every single one
Hmm.
that I played.
Oh, they're so
Minish
good.
Cap obviously being one of them. But yeah, like I've also like I've had like a hankering to play like Super Paper Mario again, which is like one of my favorite games of all time. and I was just like, oh, am I about to like shell out for a Wii just to like to play this one game? And the answer is
Yeah.
probably yes. So stay tuned for that if you follow me.
I've never
Uh,
played, man. I definitely want to.
Dude, listen, let me just get on my Paper Mario soapbox real quick. Okay, the first, everyone always says that Paper Mario is a 2-horse game. It's a 3-horse game. Super Paper Mario is amazing.
Yeah,
It's
that's
definitely
what I hear.
different. It's definitely different. You know, it's a side scrolling, adventure game and stuff like that. It's definitely very different than what Thousand Year Door and the original game put out.
Hmm.
But it plays well. The characters are great. The story is the best story in a Paper Mario game.
Ooh,
I
you
stand
said
by
it.
that. I stand by that. I'll die on that
I
hill.
think two had a great story. I think that one and two had kind of similar stories, but like more or less the same. But they were good.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely I definitely agree with you on that too. But the story in Super Paper Mario is great, and like, we don't talk about Sticker Star and stuff like that. That game's not great. I haven't played the one on the Wii U, which is a game that I would like to play at some point
Hmm.
because I just played Origami King was one of the games that I beat over summer break, and I liked it a lot. I thought the game was fun. It had moxie. It was a good game. Um, it's I say I don't know how like true this statement is if I'm just talking out of my ass, but like being a Paper Mario fan and being a Sonic fan feel kind of like hand in hand with each other. Where like,
Yeah,
people.
but Paper Mario's good. You know.
That's what everybody says when I say that.
No,
Uh,
they are because you're right. They kind of peaked early, and now people have these big expectations for what they should be, and they can't quite hit the mark, even if they do come out with some pretty good games every once in a while. I
yeah,
agree. I think that's a fair. I think that's a fair comparison.
yeah. I'm definitely sharing the same spoon with the Paper Mario fans for sure as a Sonic fan. But so we've been recording for. It's amazing how fast an hour flies by, and I feel like every time we talk with
Right?
each other, this stuff
Yeah.
happens.
It
Um,
does, man. I mean, we got to get another one of the books soon, dude, for sure.
soon for sure. I'm
I
gonna
didn't
hope
get to talk about. I'm in like we had to record this so late because I'm in a Pokemon Draft League. I'm undefeated. We do
Ooh,
like doubles battles where you can draft like different tiers of Pokemon, certain numbers, and rotate your team like some things out every week. It's very fun. I'm undefeated so far, and Sock is on my team, and I use him every week. So
so your brand is chaotic, but that's one of the many
oh,
things
it
that I love
is
about
chaotic. Yeah, it's all
you.
over the place. It's kind of like my personality, though. It makes sense.
Obviously we're still trying to, I'm still trying to work out the kinks and find ways to properly cover all the means of pop culture here on the podcast. And I think, and we're going to try something out here. We're
Okay.
near the end of the show, obviously. So this is a section I'm going to call recommended for you
Okay.
because, whenever you're scrolling through whatever streaming service it is, whether it be, Netflix, Hulu, or even on YouTube, they're constantly recommending things to you based on things that you've already watched before, or they're trying to curate you to other content. So
Yeah.
before we get out of here, I want you to recommend to me and the people listening
Yep.
what's a piece of media that you've consumed.
Okay.
It could be anything. It could be a show, a movie, a game you've played. What's something that you really like that you would recommend other people look
You
into?
know, we already covered most of them. Is like kind of the lame thing. Like Sopranos, I think would be the number one easiest to do. But I think WandaVision, get into it now because it's that water cooler show. I think it's so fun. If you, I've been rewatching all the Marvel movies, which has been so fun to revisit. And for the most part, most of the movies are pretty damn good. One or two, not the best, and you just skip over those. So I think revisiting Marvel has been so fun. And I honestly think watching dude, there's so much good shit out there. Like there just really is. Yeah, I think I'll stick with that for my recommendation. It's all that stuff is good. Pick up an old school game system. Start playing through games like Kyle said, like games that you've always wanted to play through and never did. Tournaments are. I know a lot of your Smash viewers probably tournaments aren't coming back anytime soon. Enjoy the break. Enjoy playing games and spending your time the way that you want to instead of grinding certain matchups one weekend or not. Obviously, do what you want to do with your time, but that's what I've been doing, man. I've really just been enjoying my time away from the game a little bit in terms of Smash and just playing what I really want, and I've been enjoying myself a lot, man. It's been really good. So my recommendation is nothing really specific, but just treat yourself to something old that you always wanted to watch or play and enjoy it and then come back and continue on through the rest of this quarantine safely.
No, I love that, and I can definitely like second the WandaVision stuff. I
Yeah.
over the summer, I was gonna bring that up earlier, but like that definitely brought back like the water cooler like type effect,
Yeah.
especially because it
Well,
like airs on Fridays, so like you have to wait till the weekend is over to talk about it with people.
we started watching it together, with other friends that have a Disney Plus subscription. And first it was just me, you, and my good buddy Joel, and then the group last week weirdly like doubled in size. Like it's just a ton of people watching it because they want to, either for a second, third, or first time. It's just, yeah, it's really fun. It's fun. Like they had a lot of fun making it. It's mysterious. Like it checks a lot of boxes for entertaining media for
Oh
sure.
yeah, and like I have a podcast lined up with my with one of my friends, and I can't wait to like tear the show apart like once it's all finished and like.
Damn, you gotta get me on that, bro. We watched every episode together.
Absolutely, 100%.
Hell yeah, man.
I'm gonna get a whole team of nerds together to talk about that
Oh
show
boy.
with. So you can look forward to that
This
in a
is
couple of weeks.
this is how the idea for the Avengers started. It was like, what if Captain America, what if Thor, what if Hulk, what if they're all together, like, and then that's what we're gonna be. It's just not anything important like saving the world.
That's yeah. It's just about breaking each other's expensive houses in Los Angeles. But yeah, I definitely recommend. I think my recommendation would also be, the Marvel stuff is obviously right there. There's no better time to have a Disney Plus account than right now.
Yes.
You have almost every Marvel movie there that you need, sans the Spider-Man films and the Incredible Hulk, but you're not missing much with the Incredible
The
Hulk.
Spider-Man films aren't on there? I thought they were.
No,
I watched
I
them
think
again.
they're still a
Are
joint
they only on
Sony.
Amazon?
They're still a joint Sony property, so they're on Amazon.
Yeah, on Amazon. Okay, because I did watch the most recent one during quarantine, which I had missed in theaters, which I'm sad for because it was very good.
It's a great movie. I love it a lot. I've been going back personally and watching for no reason at all, but I went back and watched some of the X-Men movies, the ones that are on Disney Plus now.
I did too. I'm not ashamed to admit it. The first one honestly kind of held up in my
It's
opinion.
so good, man.
Like in a weird way.
Yeah,
Dude,
like
and Hugh Jackman as Wolverine is just the best casting of all time for any superhero, including Iron Man, including Captain America. I don't care. That's the best superhero casting of all time.
no, I agree wholeheartedly. But like that's one of my recommendations. Is there anything else that I watched recently that I liked? I guess because it's like semi-topical, like watch The Queen's Gambit. Like it's.
Oh yeah, that was great. I watched that like 10 months ago. Yeah, right.
Yeah. It feels like it feels old news at this point, but the show only came out like a couple months ago, so.
Really?
It's crazy.
Oh
It feels
God,
like
dude.
it. They only came out like at like fall of last year. Maybe I just caught onto it late. I couldn't remember, but
Yeah.
great show. Definitely, if you're into the competitive nature of anything,
Yeah.
watch that. But
That and the Jordan doc. Those are the two that
yeah,
came out. That
and that's
was
on
like,
Netflix now
man.
too, so
Mm-hmm.
you can watch it. But
Yes, sir.
yeah, that is about all we got here today. So let me once again, my friend, let me thank you again for joining me. It was happening inevitably. I'm just gonna force all my friends at some point to be on this podcast.
It was inevitable. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and it definitely won't be the last time. So if there's
Right
anything
on.
you want to plug, where the people can find you, let them know right now. And yeah, let the people know where they can find
Nothing to
you.
really plug, Koopa. I'm here to hang out with you, bro. We'll be doing more of these, and yeah, it'll be a good time, man. I appreciate it.
Well, I'll plug for him. You can follow him on Twitter at Hazmatt Rules. You can follow him on Twitch at Hazmatt Rules.
Yep.
And great content. He opens Pokemon cards.
You got the new packs coming out this month. Pretty excited.
Yeah,
Pretty excited.
if your truck doesn't get burned over by poachers and stuff like that.
Mhm,
So,
mhm.
but yeah, you can follow me on Twitter at KoopaNJ, like New Jersey. Follow the podcast at KoopdUpPod. And of course, listen, ask us questions. If you guys want feedback on something, if you want us to talk about something, tweet at us, email us at KoopdUpPod@gmail.com. Yeah, just stay tuned, stay safe, wear a mask, and ladies and gentlemen, have yourselves a wonderful evening. Good night and take care.
Yeah, we'll be seeing you.